In this video, we're going to talk about what to eat and drink at a Brazilian beach. If you're in Rio de Janeiro, you're going to behave differently than in other beaches around Brazil. The Cariocas, the Rio de Janeiro people, aren't big on drinking and eating at the beach. They don't bring food to the beach and they don't buy a lot of food on the beach either. They go to the beach to sunbathe, play some beach sport, pose around a little bit, but not to party out. So this is one of the main differences between Rio de Janeiro beaches and beaches in, for instance, Salvador, Fortaleza, Natal, Maragogi, all these places around Brazil that have a different style of beach culture. So in Rio, you're going to look for basically just mate, which are these guys that walk the beach in orange, carrying two large drums of iced tea, and the iced tea is called mate, this type of iced tea, and lemonade. So they carry both iced tea and lemonade, and you can have either or both, and you can control it while they're serving you. And these are delicious. They're safe to drink. They're just delicious, very refreshing, because after all, you're on the beach and you need to be refreshed because should be very hot. Another thing to have at the beach is the açaí. It started off as a surfer food, and açaí basically took over, and it's basically just a big ice cream with the açaí, but also sugar and bananas, and and a little bit of granola on top, and it's very caloric, so beware, but also delicious. And since it's an ice cream, it's very refreshing. The other refreshing product or food product is the popsicle, also very safe for you or kids to have them. They're all industrially made, so with Brazilian safety standards, which are good enough for everybody else visiting Brazil, so for Europeans and Americans, so it's safe for you to try. And they have different fruits, so they will have coconut, mango, passion fruit, and other fruits, so these are also worth trying. The other thing that you will see Brazilians eat a lot on the beach, especially in Rio, is the biscoito globo. It's a cassava flour biscuit. It's a very light biscuit, hardly any flavor, hardly any weight to it. So people just eat it knowing that they're not going to fatten up at the beach or fill to a point where it will get in the way of their lunch or late night snack. But it is a nice little thing to try. Most foreigners don't get it. They try it and they say, where's the flavor, where's the substance? And there isn't any, and that's the point. That's the point to Biscoito Globo. Also another thing to look for on Carioca beaches. Now, if you're walking along the beach, you're going to notice the smell of corn, and it's going to be a guy with a cart making boiling corn and selling corn on the spot. It is green corn. It isn't sweet corn, so you have to be aware that you're going to be biting into a corn that's slightly harder and needs a little bit more salt, maybe, so just be aware. I don't personally like it. I think it's because I've had sweet corn, and once you've had sweet corn, you don't go back to green corn. But the other thing that you will see a lot, which is very bizarre, it's sellers dressed in Arabic clothes, so like they have a white gown, maybe some headgear, and carrying a huge cooler next to them. And they're selling esfirras, which is an Arabic delicacy. It's a savory tri-folded pizza, and they sell them for 6 to 10 reais, depending on the size of the esfirra, and delicious. You can try, you can invest, and try one of them, see if you like them, because they're just if you're hungry at the beach, this is what is going to sustain you. Everything else that the Brazilians have at the beach is either sweet or just not substantial enough. So esfirra is another good bet for you to try at the beach. And last but not least is the grilled cheese. Brazilians are big on grilled cheese called coalho, which is halloumi cheese, and it's served, it comes on a stick and they grill it right there. They carry a little oven, usually this big, with coal in there, and then they fan the heat in the fire and the braise so that they can toast the halloumi cheese, the queijo coalho, till it becomes a little bit burnt, and it tastes a lot better than if it's just raw. And it's not a cheese that melts, so it is more of a cheese that it's a white cheese, dry cheese, that's a little bit burnt but not melting. You know, it doesn't melt. So this is another weird thing that you're gonna see on Carioca beaches, and definitely worth a try. Very safe also. And last but not least, and now word of warning is don't try the shrimp shish kebabs. They have these skewers, wood skewers with shrimp all along them, and they walk around with a tray trying to sell them, and don't buy that. You know, it is just trouble ahead. You know, the chances of it having any sanitary code are zero or close to zero. So the chances of you getting sick are pretty high. So it's not worth it. Have shrimp at other places, at bars, at restaurants, but not on the beach. So that's the tip for what to avoid on Brazilian beaches. If you're looking for more tips on what to eat at Brazilian bars and what to drink at Brazilian bars, check out these videos over here above, where we talk about Brazilian bar foods and what alcoholic drinks to try while visiting Brazil. Thank you.